Hey everybody, what is going on? It is Crypto Bobby. Hope you are having a great day, great night, wherever you might be watching in from on this February 19th. I had to look down to see what date it was on this February 19th, a day where Bitcoin has been just on a roll. Bitcoin up now to just under $11,500 as we are getting started here. So happy to see Bitcoin making some positive movements up. I see some people in the chat saying that their altcoins are getting crushed. Some say they're keeping pace. So, for the most part, everything is, I would say, mostly things are in the green USD-wise. A lot of you might be feeling a little bit of pain if you're trading against the Bitcoin pairing. What's up, Dan? What's up, Curtis, Carl, Bryce, Liam, Mike, Alpha, Jason, Fuller, what's up, folks? Crypto Judge, Lincoln, Kyle. Hope you guys are having a solid one so far. So a couple different people had mentioned, and we could dive into this a little bit later, but the ZCL or the Bitcoin private white paper. Somebody said the voice of VOS sucks. I don't know too much about VOS. I thought you were saying my voice sucks. I was like, whoa, man, down 30%. You need to adjust the volume that bad? But the Bitcoin private white paper came out and has been some good things and bad things said about it. There were kind of one of the things that I'm not a big fan of is the stupid side-by-side comparisons where it says that every single category of the cryptocurrency that's making it is perfect, and then every other company or every other cryptocurrency has some major fatal flaws or multiple fatal flaws, and they have that on the third page of the Bitcoin private white paper. So I don't love that, but I haven't gotten a chance to dive into it too in depth at this point in time. So I'll have to see. I'll reserve thoughts on that. I mean, as far as it goes for me personally, though, I'm not a huge personal believer in Bitcoin private. I just am not like the biggest believer in Bitcoin private. I think Monero and Zcash are both probably better privacy coins, but I did make a trade on ZCL, and that trade is up almost 2x now. So I can, I'll take it. I'll take it where I get it. Somebody said ZCL. What's up, Patrick Riddle? Hope all is well in Charleston or wherever you are. I always every time you comment, I think about warm weather, man. Every time. Speaking of that, what's up, Los Angeles, Leviathan? Hope you're doing well, buddy. So, Kara mentions, if I sell ZCL before the fork, how close to snapshots should I sell? I don't know. That's the big question. That's the multi-million-dollar question, or maybe like the $10 question for you, depending upon how much ZCL you have. But that is the big question. Is Somebody had commented on YouTube previously. Or on Twitter they're like, yeah, you obviously have to hold it prior to the fork or prior to go into the fork. And different people have different thought processes on that, specifically on whether it's ETC or some of these other forks. But ZCL specifically is interesting because the way ZCL is going to work is, or at least in my opinion, is ZCL is going to get crushed afterwards. So War Dodge, yeah, Barry's pumping our ETC bags. Let's check that out. But Barry, our man, Barry, where are you? Where are you, Barry? There he is. There he is. That green candle. Thank you, Barry. Thank you, Lord Barry. But the way that it's going to go down, I mean, I think with ZCL is really all the developers from ZCL are pretty much moving to Bitcoin private. There is not going to be any value to ZCL. Basically, people are just buying ZCL as a vehicle to get Bitcoin private. So the second that the snapshot is over, the price of ZCL is going to drop faster than BitConnect after the lending stopped. Maybe it'll drop at the same speed, but it's going to drop, and it's going to drop quickly. So the question is, will the value of Bitcoin privates justify holding ZCL going into the fork, or are you better off selling your ZCL if you made a nice trade, if you bought ZCL, let's say $50, $75, $150, wherever you bought it at? That's kind of the question. Somebody said, so short ZCL. I mean, yeah, you could, but I don't think there's a market to short ZCL. I don't think it's on BitMEX or anything else. So I don't think you can actually literally short ZCL. I don't know many people that would take that the other side of. I don't know many people that would go long ZCL after the snapshot. You'd be pretty nuts to, at least in my opinion. couple people talking about the Bitcoin golden goose is close. That is, I think somebody had a nice charter. Luke Martin from Venture Coinist posted, I forget who it was, posted or retweeted a chart that had that drawn out pretty well. Let me see if I could pull that up. As you guys know, I don't know jack diddly squat about TA for the most part. So that is an area where I am extremely weak. Yep, CryptoCred. So CryptoCred talked about this. Yeah, the golden cross forming. I'll put a link here. Let's see. So there's a link to CryptoCred's tweet. But Luke from Venture Coinist, who I like, I think he has really solid thoughts pretty much throughout the market, whether it's going up, whether it's going down. I think Luke is definitely a nice, consistent voice of reason. But CryptoCred's chart here, if you want to check that out in more detail, you can definitely do so. Kind of the range we're in right now and how we are. Bitcoin itself is approaching the golden cross. Habanero Sculpin, that sounds pretty interesting. I'll take a glass of that. I will take a glass of that. Somebody said, thoughts on Litecoin Cash? It went from $1.40 to $8. I wouldn't touch that crap with a 10-foot pole. Is there even? So it's not on CoinMarketCap. I don't know where Litecoin Cash should be trading, but I wouldn't touch that crap at all. I think that's been completely overblown. Not a chance in hell I'd go near Litecoin Cash. I wouldn't, not to say I wouldn't go near Bitcoin Cash, but there's already enough contention around Bitcoin Cash. The last thing we need is another one of those. So, Litecoin Cash on Yobit. Yeah, let me stay away from that one. Have fun on Yobit. Litecoin Cash is the real Litecoin. There is a video out there that is actually hilarious. If I can pull it up. Let me see if I can get it. It's got to be somewhere. Give me a second. I'm on the other screen trying to find the old one. It's from back in the day. It was the best video ever. Fuck. I don't know if I can find it yet. I'll have to get it later, but it's such a good video. Such a good video. It's basically some fake it's an Indian guy who is obviously Charlie is not Indian, but it's an Indian guy. Saying he is the real Charlie Lee, I think he said he's the real Charlie Lee, and this is, Charlie's vision or Satoshi's vision or whatever it was. So Shibu, Madhu, security tokens and the ones you like. So, I mean, I think the biggest play there is Polymath. Polymath has done pretty well today. I don't know if it's cooled off at all recently, but Polymath has done well. I think it's traded on KuCoin, so if you want to get access to that, at one point in time it was up, I think, a pretty decent amount. Might have pulled back a tiny bit, I think. But Polymath, from a security token perspective, is the one I would keep an eye on. It's got a pretty solid amount of volume as well, but I would, if you're looking for that, Polymath, and then T0 is the other one, but T0 is not publicly traded yet, so can't really go there. But Polymath is the biggest thing from a security token standpoint. So taking a look at some of these questions here, I'm going to try and pump through as many of them as I possibly can. But if you do have a question that absolutely must be answered, throw it in a super chat and I will definitely get to it. What's up, Tim? Hope you're doing well, brother. Can I look into Deep Onion right now? I'm not a massive fan of Deep Onion. I've looked into it a little bit. It seems like one of those projects that just adds a layer of Tor to it, and then it's like, oh yeah, we're the most private thing in the world. So, They also need to rename their name. I don't want onion tokens. What's up, one man army? Timothy Wilson mentioned any thoughts on Skycoin. I did a little bit of research on Skycoin. It seemed interesting. It seems like they're attacking a lot of different problems, but in my mind, maybe it's a little bit too aggressive. Maybe I don't know. It remains to be seen if they can. I don't have the capacity to. I don't have the capacity to really dive into the tech, but they're kind of attacking so many different things that makes me a little bit wary when I look at projects. It doesn't mean they can't execute on it, but that's kind of my thought process when I did a little bit of evaluation on that. Thoughts on ZEC, Zcash, lots of shilling going on, big clout behind it. That's the big thing with Zcash is you got big dudes behind it. You got Lord Barry pumping ETC for us. Come on, ETC. There we are. There's ETC. But Lord Barry pumping ETC, or not, who knows? But ETC and Zcash are like big, like OG traders on Twitter are all about ETC and Zcash and have been waiting for both of those to pump for quite some time. I have a bag of ETC of ETC and Zcash personally, but I do not. I personally, it hasn't done that incredibly well for me. Next 3 ICOs I am investing in. I am not investing in any ICOs right now. I'm doing due diligence to see what ICOs I might be looking at, but I do not have any ICOs that I am investing in right now that are in the plans to invest in right now. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see what ends up going on there. But I'm not. I don't have any ICOs in the horizon that I am definitely going to be investing in. And as a U.S. citizen, there's obviously difficulties there. I mean, there really are no, you're absolutely out of your damn mind if you're a US project right now and you're running an ICO to non-accredited investors. Like you're asking to get just absolutely murdered by the SEC. So unless you're an accredited investor or unless you're participating with some type of group of some sort, you're definitely in trouble. Juan Martinez, when are you going to get your first liquid sponsor? I'm not sponsored, but if any of you work for a liquor company, beer company, I will drink whatever you send me. River Horse Oatmeal Stout today. 6.7% alcohol. Happy to take free booze. I'll take sponsorships in return for putting your booze right in front of this face on Crypto Happy Hour. So thoughts on singularity.net, and then I see something from Antonio there, so thank you. Your thoughts on Neo. I'm pretty bullish on Neo in the medium to long term. Not exactly sure short term. I mean, short term, it's tough to see it shake out, but I do think Neo is a platform that I think Neo's a platform that's shown a lot of momentum. You're seeing more developers and more community build around it. So I don't own any Neo right now, but I am bullish on Neo in the medium to long term. I think they have some things that they need to figure out with the tech, but yeah, who knows? I don't, like I said, don't have a holding a Neo, but it's something I would absolutely buy. So another question here that I missed. Thoughts on singularity.net. Pull that bad boy up. Mostly trading on KuCoin. I have an account on KuCoin now, but I don't know. They raised a ton of money super quick, and then their valuation pumped through the roof. It's kind of sold off a little bit since the ICO. At one point in time, it was, I think, worth about, $300 million. It pulled a 10x after the ICO, which is just nuts to think about. It's probably overhyped. I haven't gone into it too much, but anybody who got in that ICO, good for you. 10x on the ICO, that's pretty damn solid. Shibu Madhu, thoughts on which one you're more bullish on, Neo or Cardano? I think that Cardano personally has more long-term potential than Neo, but short-term, Neo is executing quicker. So that's kind of my thought process. Cardano could certainly change that in the next 3 to 6 months, but Neo maybe, in my opinion, Neo might have a little bit more momentum in the short term because they're having ICOs occurring on the platform, and they're picking up a little bit of steam from a development perspective. But Cardano, I think, has probably a better approach to the technology, at least what I've gathered from the individuals that have done a lot of research. I like both of them, though. I think they are both solid platforms, and I do like both Neo and Cardano. But yeah, my thought process, I think Neo is, who knows? Somebody said Cardano needs to show some real-world progress. So I think, I get that, but at the same point in time, like, they're not sacrificing. So, when you look at this, Cardano was already has a massive valuation. Granted, it's pulled back from $1.30 at one point in time. I mean, if we look at it, Cardano's gotten crushed as bad as as bad or if not worse than some of the other ones have. But what's the incentive for Cardano to? I mean, there's the chart's ugly. Chart's real ugly. And support here. I don't know if this might be, and if this previous resistance might be support in the future if it breaks below that. Like kind of this area right here where they initially after one of the first pumps. But I mean, at least in my opinion, with Cardano, taking your time and not worrying about if you're a project out there, I guess you want to worry about the price a little bit, but at the same point in time, do you think Charles Hoskinson really gives a shit about the price right now, or does he give a shit about building a product that people are going to use 5 years from now? In my opinion, Charles probably gives a shit about whether the product is actually being developed effectively, whether it's being utilized, whether they have people leveraging it, and whether the technology is sustainable. So that's kind of my thought process there. It's tough, though, if you are a quote-unquote investor in one of these, then, if you're an investor in one of these, then you obviously want progress, and you see something like Cardano, the ADA token falling off as some other crypto is doing well, like Bitcoin is recovering now. Cardano is not so much, but you have to respect, in my mind, at least for me personally, I would rather a company shut the hell up about prices. I don't want the founder of I don't really want the founder of the cryptocurrency or the project talking about price. I want them to actually develop and build relationships and get developers and build the ecosystem and things like that. So that's kind of my thought process there. Thoughts on Electroneum? Lots of potential with it being showcased at the Mobile World Congress. I'm not a fan of Electroneum. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Electroneum, Tron, those type of projects, I think they're more smoke and mirrors than they are actual development. That's my thought process. Somebody, Maui Gold, did you know that Cardano got on any and all YouTuber interview for free? Well, I actually interviewed Charles Hoskinson a week or two ago. He didn't pay me. I didn't pay him. So it was a free interview. It wasn't sponsored or anything like that. I think Charles is in the position where you're in a top 10 cryptocurrency. You don't need to pay anybody to, that's kind of, it was an honor, at least for me, it was an honor to have him or, for the most part, any other top 10 crypto developers on there at all. VeChain, VEN, thoughts, lots of partnerships, rumors announced. So I've been a VeChain holder since early December. I've been happy about that for sure. It's crushed it since early December. I think I bought in on the 7th after it kind of pumped up initially. But I'm not as much worried about the partnerships. I just think they have a solid team behind it that can actually execute, and they have the people in place that can do it. So I'm happy with I'm happy with how that works forward. Crash Crosby, set up PayPal or something so I can tip you. I think you just did, brother. Keanu, thoughts on ICX, on Icon? I think ICX is a decent amount of respect in the industry. I don't own any Icon. There's other platforms out there that I might have a little bit more interest in holding for the time being, but I do think the overall outlook on Icon is fairly positive, and when you see the valuation of the competitors, then it does look fairly interesting. Eric Swells, you've asked about SyncFab a couple times. I actually had SyncFab on my channel. They were one of the first interviews I did back in early September when I had maybe 10,000 subscribers. So go check out, if you want to search Crypto Bobby SyncFab. I haven't done a ton of research on it recently, but if you want to go back and see an old it was not a sponsored video or anything like that. It was literally just an interview with probably 3 members of their team. Search Crypto Bobby SyncFab if you want to watch that. But like I said, not a sponsored video or anything like that. But just had them. I knew somebody on the SyncFab team, and they're like, "Hey, do you want to speak to him?" And our channel is brand new. I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" Eric Shiz, put your Bitcoin public key in the description. I'll put my private key in the description. Actually, you know what? I'm sorry. I'm not really sure what a public key is. Any interest in Oyster Pearl? For me, not really. I haven't done the full diligence on the team. Something I'll definitely dive into, but maybe a little bit more of a niche use case than I really care too much about. So I don't know. Some of the I have a small holding of Basic Attention Token, really just from my YouTube channel being verified, and people are able to donate Basic Attention Token to me. So I have a small holding of Basic Attention Token. So I kind of feel like in my respect, this is a little bit redundant in comparison to Basic Attention Token, at least in the case of my portfolio. So because it's a little bit redundant, I haven't done as much research on that. The valuation is much less. It's maybe 66% smaller. It's probably $100 or $200 million smaller than Basic Attention Token, but I think that the BAT team, Brave team, is pretty solid. And if you don't have a Brave browser, there's a link below in the description. Download it for free, and it helps me out. So I would love that. Somebody said, "What do you think about chicken, fried or baked?" I mean, why would you not eat fried chicken? Like, kind of crazy person. So looking at some more of these chats here. Thanks, Chris Crosby. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, I think YouTube takes like 50%. That's my understanding. Is that like all the super chats, YouTube gets about 50%. So I think that's how it works. But I appreciate any dollar. Thoughts on the Cass fiasco? Let's see what. I don't know all that much about Casha, what the deal is. I don't really know what the fiasco is. The future of banking. So they rejected 14 mil. That's funny. I mean, so that's I don't know the details about this. I don't know if this is a fiasco or not a fiasco, or what the what the deal is with I don't know what the deal is with this in particular, but ICO regulation is definitely heating up like hard, and companies have to be very aware. And even apparently, according to pull this up, Michael Arrington. founder of TechCrunch, freaked out a little bit. Where do we got it here? What do we got? What do we got? Come on. Did he delete it? He might have deleted it. So there were some type of... Michael Arrington had like a tweet storm at one point in time as far as the SEC going after ICO investors, which freaked out a lot of people. And freaked out a lot of people. So he's the founder of... He put some money into... definitely put money into a number of ICOs, and apparently they were legit ICOs that they've gone after. And yeah, I mean, so I don't know what the deal is with Cassia, but depending upon where people are investing in and things like that, I would expect more and more ICO regulation in the future and more companies getting in trouble, not less. So if a company turns down your money, that's probably why. Somebody said I'm up 2x on Oyster in the last 2 weeks. Good on you, brother. Profit's profit. Kill it. Since YouTube takes from your efforts, you should support a project like Tron then. How the hell is Tron going to benefit me over YouTube? Well, they have something in like 55 years in their roadmap. Am I going to play Tron Dogs? Does Verge have future potential? You mean Dogecoin Dark? Somebody had mentioned, so catching up on a couple, would I pump Tron on this channel if Tron Foundation pump you money? No, I would not. No. So getting back into these, Matt Wilhelm mentioned Crypto All-Stars. That's a whole fucking fiasco. So I know one of the guys who founded that. I know Randy personally. I've met him in person. He's a real solid dude. I think between Randy and the actual... developer, somebody said get paid for your own content, say goodbye to YouTube. Forward thinking. That's not forward thinking. I don't know. I don't agree with that. Everybody wants to, be the next YouTube, but until there's 1,300 people watching me live on Tron, I'm going to stay on YouTube and get paid by YouTube as well. So I don't think Tron has 1,300 people. I don't think Tron has 3 people, let alone 1,300 people on the blockchain. But yeah, the whole Crypto All-Stars thing. So basically there's a disagreement between the founder, like the main marketing guy, and the developer. They got into kind of a disagreement, falling out, and then they sold the project to somebody. So they sold the project. That's literally going on in the past couple hours. They sold somebody in the past they sold it to somebody, I think today or yesterday or something like that. And that person got control of the Twitter and is now just trolling everybody and making fun of Crypto All-Stars. So that is it's unfortunate. RIP in peace. I would pour this out for the guy who bought my Crypto All-Stars card. RIP in peace to you, brother. Yeah. Am I mad that I bought Tron at 30 cents? No. No, I've never bought Tron. Thoughts on Zilliqa, Marcus Peters. So I haven't had a chance to read the Zilliqa white paper yet. That's actually one that I'm looking to read this evening. So looking to read the Zilliqa white paper. Donnie Crypto mentioned to read that, and it's one that I'd like to dive into more, so I haven't gotten a chance to read the Zilliqa white paper. I didn't get in on the ICO or anything like that, but I would like to dive into that. So I'll reserve thoughts on Zilliqa until I dive into the white paper, but that is absolutely on my list. Somebody said, Matt Angelo said, thoughts on Wanchain. I got a chance to meet the Wanchain team in person. I like them a lot. Solving a really interesting problem. And I'm a fan of Wanchain. I don't own any Wanchain. I don't think Wanchain is publicly traded yet. But when it does become publicly traded, if all else stays equal in the market, I think Wanchain will probably pump quite a bit. I haven't gotten a chance to dive into Lunar at all. I don't know if it's another advertising type token. I don't know if it's one that really appeals to me too much. Start writing articles, decentralized knowledge base. I guess like a decentralized Wikipedia. Haven't really heard of it. Haven't done too much information, research on it, but maybe I could look into it later. But it doesn't appeal to me as much as a lot of other things do. Crash Crosby, your ZCL plans, thoughts. I think it can go up in the next 5 days. I'm thinking about, so I got a decent holding of ZCL. I'll pop back over here. I got a decent holding of ZCL at the, what mark? Around here or so? Around 0.011, 0.012. So I'm up against Bitcoin a pretty decent amount. I'm up 40-something% against Bitcoin in like 9 days, and Bitcoin itself is up quite a bit over that course of time as well. So, fiat wise, I think I'm up about close to 2x. I think I bought at, I want to say it was at like $100 and change or so, in that range. With that being said, I'm looking to ditch my initial investment plus some profit, and probably prior to the fork, just in case things get crazy. And then with the actual playing the fork, after I ditch my initial investment, take some profit, I'll let the rest ride into the fork to see how it goes. If ZCL dips quite a bit prior at some point in time, like let's say I'm going to sell 4 or 5 days prior to the snapshot. Maybe I sell 5 days prior to the snapshot. If ZCL dips prior to the snapshot, maybe I'll pick some up additionally to get more access to Bitcoin private. But I'm a little bit wary about what's going to go on. I think there's going to be a lot of volatility. It could be good volatility. It could be volatility that goes to the upside. But I'd like to shield myself from some of the downside. And when you make 40% profit on a Bitcoin trading, on a Bitcoin pair, sometimes you should probably take some of that Bitcoin and stuff that in your pocket and move on. Greg Patane, what's up, brother? You preach dollar cost average. Do you have a strategy for how often you do it? Use new fiat or BTC ETH cells as your vehicles. Cheers, mate. So in my case, I usually do close to daily dollar cost average. I realize that's not effective for most people. So it depends upon how much money you can dollar cost average. And as always, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. But for me, like I think with dollar cost averaging, do it to where it makes sense for you personally. You have to take fees into consideration as well. Like let's say you have $5,000 a month you can invest. I mean, if that's the case, you can probably split that up. Once a week you could dollar cost average in. Let's say you only have $100 to invest. You probably don't want to buy $25 worth every week. That's not really going to make that big of a difference. So maybe you just save that up and do that once a month. So it does depend, at least in my opinion, as far as how often you might want to go through that process and how large your dollar cost averaging might be. So looking at some more of these questions, Shibu Madu, smallest cap that you are most bullish on. Let me just look at my Delta app and see what's like the smallest cap. Just sometimes I forget what's in my portfolio. I'm pretty bullish on Nebulous, NAS, NAS. It's not tiny. I mostly don't have like very small caps. But Nebulous in like ownership comparison to some of the other ones, I mean, Nebulous is a $300 million cryptocurrency. So I like Nebulous. I like NAS, and it's not small, but I would say it's a mid cap, smallish to mid to smallish cap. And that's one that I am pretty bullish on. I like that it is traded on Huobi. It's on OKX as well, but Huobi is actually a pretty decent exchange, so I can dig anything that's I could dig anything that's traded on that. So a couple of different people asking about bread. I ditched bread. So Trey Wingo, what's up, ESPN commentator? Yeah, 300 mil is definitely not small. No, by no means is it small, but at the same point in time, I've dumpster dived before, and dumpster diving isn't always the most fun thing in the world. I mean, how far down is NAS? If it's a $300 million cryptocurrency, it's still not in the top 50. So it's not even in the top 60, which is pretty crazy. So Trey Wingo in the house. So a couple different people have mentioned Loki. I haven't gotten a chance to go through Loki yet. So Shank Meester, what's up, brother? Do you feel that Bitcoin will continue to climb? New investor looking to buy in this week, but I feel like I missed the dip. So, I mean, depending upon how much money you have and you're willing to put in, I kind of going back to the comment from Greg recently, dollar cost average your way in, buy a little bit now, buy a little bit now, buy a little bit later. That way, if it goes up, then at least you bought some and you don't feel terrible. If it goes down, then at least you still have money left that you can buy in as well. So I'm a fan of dollar cost averaging, depending upon how much kind of where you're at in the situation. So that would be just my overall recommendation. It looks like from the TA I've seen from a lot of people, we're not in no man's land, but there are a couple kind of points that we have. Some people, or there are a lot of people out there that are like, yo, this is a fake out, we're about to dive more. And there are some people that are saying we're on a straight up run to 13K. So I don't know who's right, who's wrong. I think we have more bullish momentum than bearish momentum, but I would dollar cost average. Yeah, somebody said you missed the dip. Face it. I mean, you definitely might have missed the dip. I'm very proud of the fact that I bought sub $7,000 Bitcoin. I pat myself. I go to bed every night and I just pat myself on the back for buying $6,900 Bitcoin. That was a happy day for me. And I also bought $8,600 Bitcoin. So I just when Bitcoin dipped that hard, I was looking at it and I was like, I can buy so much more Bitcoin. Like, I didn't give a shit about the USD. I was just looking at it. I'm like, I can buy so much more Bitcoin than I could previously. And I was like, all right, time to go in and market buy some shit on GDAX. Let's get it rolling. Joshua said, my bro got it at 6,100. I was waiting for 55 and missed out. Set them tiered buy orders, brother. Set them tiered buy orders. That's what I did. Somebody else, Garrett bought it 6,700, 8,700, 1070, riding it back up. Profit's profit, man. Am I rich? No. You think I do this for fun? No, actually, I do this for fun, but I'm not rich, no. Thank you for the question. What kind of beer am I drinking? River Horse Oatmeal Milk Stout. It's from Jersey. Jersey. It's pretty good, actually. I like stouts. Big stout fan. David, hey. Everybody say hi to David. I'll see you in New York this weekend, David. Jersey sewage water. You bite your freaking tongue, keyboard commando. What do we got? Yeah, according to Enrico, you got to smash those likes, baby. Smash the likes. What's up, everybody? Smash the likes. Would you take a 4x on your investment to quit crypto? No. I've kind of thought about talking about this, but hey, fuck it, I will. There's guys out there like Ian Balina that are doing well. He's like on his whole like crypto retirement kick. Commend him for that. If that's what you like to do, then awesome. But I personally am not on the like. I have no interest in retiring in my late 20s. Like I want to work. I'm too goddamn young to not work. So I mean, I'm 47. I'm not 20. I'm not on my late 20s. Who am I kidding? Yeah, I'm the whole like, make a bunch of money in crypto and retire. Like I know a lot of like rich ass people in crypto. Like I know a lot of very very wealthy people in crypto. But a lot of them still work. So like the whole idea of just like retiring, I don't know. I'll pass. Yeah, Mark once said I'll get fat sitting at home and drinking. Yeah. I will. So I don't want to do that. Joey said, do you like Polymath? Yeah, I do like Polymath. I don't own any, but I wish I got in on the ICO or on the. I didn't even do the airdrop. I think the airdrop is now worth about $400, which is crazy. Like you literally all you had to do was like fill in your name, your email address, and they literally gave you $400 in Polymath tokens for free. With that being said, don't just throw your money in don't throw your ID and stuff in any airdrop, because I'm sure there are going to be people are going to see the success that Polymath has had, and they're going to look at that and they're going to be like, "Yo, we're gonna do some type of fraud. We're going to steal a bunch of money," and that would not be good. So I would avoid that. Like, not every airdrop is Polymath, and a lot of airdrops will probably ask for. Some type of KYC and things like that, and I would just be hesitant to do that if you're not completely sure about it. Luke, what's your opinion on Ian Balina? I think he provides a good service to the community. In my own opinion, I think he's in a tough spot because he kind of built his reputation on ICO research, and he did a good job, and he made himself a ton of money. I think he turned 90 grand into 4 mil. So I didn't turn 90 grand into 4 mil, so good on him. I would just say it's tough now because he kind of built his reputation on ICOs and providing ICO research, and there are a lot of people out there that can't participate in ICOs anymore because it's basically just pre-sales, and especially it's pre-sales or accredited investors pre-sales, and because of that, there are a lot of people that are stuck out of these ICOs. So he invests in the ICOs because it's profitable for him and he has a bunch of money to go. But a lot of people that are in his audience now can't do that. So I think that's kind of a shitty situation for him. And he gave a lot of people a lot of good information, and now they kind of want that information more and more, and he can't provide it. So, but good. Like I said, you turn 90 grand, 100 grand into $4 million. Good for friggin' him. And his channel itself too, like as I was talking about, like his crypto retirement, his videos are pretty fucking sick. Like he does a nice job. Like whoever the production team he has, he does a real solid job with that. Daniel Yim, appreciate that, brother. Haroon, David Hay covered Polyswarm, but I think you did as well. So the Polyswarm ICO isn't open to U.S. investors. However, I met Steve Bossi, the CEO founder of Polyswarm. I like him personally, so I'm a little bit biased there. I do like Steve. I've had a chance to interact with him on a few occasions. I had him on my channel. If you want to Google Crypto Bobby Polyswarm, you'll find an interview there. But I like Steve. I think the project will likely do well. I'm not going to specifically say to throw money into the ICO without doing research, but one of the big things for me is liking the team, and I like the team. I like the advisory board, so I'm a fan. Somebody said Chainlink Alpha is now live. Yeah, I definitely made a mistake selling Link for... I mean, ETC has done well, so I don't want... Ooh, holy shit, that sold off. Fuck, I didn't see that. Never mind, maybe I didn't make a mistake. What are we down? 14% after... I guess just all that volume went away. Wow. So, I mean, Chainlink went up like 38% or something, and then is back down like 15%. So... staking Cardano soon. Personally, I would... Jackson Palmer also interviewed Steve from Polyswarm. I think David Hay, too. I think if you guys are interested in going to NAC3, if you're on the East Coast, if you're based out in New York or close to New York, David and I think Steve from Polyswarm will actually be in New York City on Saturday. You can still buy tickets. NAC3 should be a fun event. I'm pumped for it. A lot of cool people in crypto there. It's a very low-key... I've been to some conferences that are stuffy and very intellectual and if you don't go to Harvard, you're not good enough to be here. NAC3 is not that event. It's definitely more welcoming and I think friendlier to a lot of people. So I'm a fan. Trey said Jackson Palmer is so underrated. I totally agree. Jackson's the man. Jackson's content is freaking fantastic. So if you're not watching Jackson Palmer's content, you're doing yourself a disservice. He is solid as hell. Crypto Observer, if you want to see how much beer is left here, why am I going to slam this beer when there's a sip left? It's also the last beer I have in the fridge, so I don't want to slam a beer. I just want to... I want to nurse it. I want to enjoy it. So going through some of these Cryptopia. Mitt, what's up, brother? Some are saying Bitcoin will never be a useful form of exchange because it's too volatile. Do you think Bitcoin will be exchanged daily once it plateaus? So I don't know. I think Bitcoin, there's a lot of work that needs to be done for Bitcoin to really, truly be, to be a form of payment. And I think right now we are much farther along in terms of Bitcoin being a quote-unquote store of value or really just a new asset class in a lot of respects. As I think the kind of the use case that you're going to see right now or that you're seeing right now is Bitcoin as digital gold, as a digital asset with a fixed supply that is the most secure, basically the most secure network on the planet. However, if we do, let's see here, pop over to... I think that the hell out of here. The Bitcoin transaction fee. What do we got? Let's see if I can. Bitcoin transaction fees have been going on just a straight free fall down, which has been fantastic. I know there's a lot of stuff going on with like, Bitcoin Cash and blah, blah, blah. This transaction fee is less than, I think, $3 at this point in time. It's, $2.96, the average transaction fee on Bitcoin. So I'm bullish on Bitcoin for the time being. I think with Coinbase rolling out SegWit, with the transaction fees getting lower, with the spam on the network stopping, with a lot of the things that are happening right now, with the Lightning Network gaining adoption, I'm a fan of Bitcoin. I'm usually a fan. I think Bitcoin is a solid long-term hold and should be a portion of any position, but I'm a fan of. I am getting more and more bullish on Bitcoin for sure. And I think people discount the fact that I think people don't love it as much because they get the old, it's old, it's slow, it's boring, it's this, it's that. You have to take into account kind of all the manpower, the woman power, the development power, the mining power. There's a lot of backing behind Bitcoin. I'm hearing the Yorker accent. Yep, Trey. What are my thoughts on Monaco? I'm surprised not getting more attention. I'm not a massive fan of the credit card companies. Monaco, PayPal, or not PayPal, 10x, Centra. The companies that are specifically like crypto credit cards or like crypto cards with cash back or crypto back. I'm just not a big fan of them. I don't love the use case yet. Not that many people are really truly spending cryptocurrency, and I think like a lot of, I think that a lot of the other products out there, like the Cash App and some of the other things out there, they might have a better opportunity in terms of advancements for crypto spending than something like a Monaco or a 10x or a Centra or any of those other ones out there. Julio said, Charlie Lee said Bitcoin will be the world reserve currency. It's certainly possible. Certainly possible. We talk in practice. Comments on Substratum. I don't know. I'm not massive on Substratum. It's there's definitely some YouTubers out there that love Substratum. I've looked at it. I'm not totally confident that they can be like the world's, the world internet or whatever they want to be. Man, it really pumped up hard in the whole altcoin run up to early January. I mean, you're talking about $3 Substratum. Now it's at 66 cents. Hopefully nobody bought that top because that's brutal. I don't think it's getting back up to that range anytime soon, personally. Maybe it does, but personally I don't think it is. Neblio is the Ethereum killer. I don't know if Neblio is the Ethereum killer. I think I see a lot of comments in here. So a lot of Neblio comments, a lot of Neblio positive comments. I think that the video I made the other day, I think Neo is more likely. I think EOS is more likely. Cardano is more likely. If Tezos ever can figure their shit out, maybe they're more likely. So, dude. But yeah, I mean, I think there's definitely projects out there that I would say are more likely to quote unquote kill Ethereum. Although at the same point in time, it's going to be difficult for any project out there to kill Ethereum because there is a ton of development going on. There was a big ETH Denver conference. I think there was like 500 plus developers at the ETH Denver conference. There are a ton of people developing applications on top of Ethereum. There's a whole ecosystem built around that. That's hard to deal with if you're a competitor because you can have excellent tech, but if your tech is not being used or if nobody gives a shit to use your tech, that makes your life a lot tougher. So the big thing that I'm looking at is, can Ethereum scale? Can they figure out Can they figure out a lot of the issues they're having with transaction scalability? Can they advance faster, or at least at the pace of an EOS or a Cardano or a Neo or some of these other ones? So it'll be interesting to see how that pans out. And I think that's really one of the more interesting things to watch over the year of 2018, at least in my personal opinion. Definitely one of the more interesting things to watch. Somebody said, so Chad said Bitcoin used to have 90% dominance. Now with all the competition surrounding Ethereum, could it be death by 1,000 cuts? So I think the whole Bitcoin dominance thing is a little bit, some of that argument or some of that discussion is a little bit overplayed. I mean, the reason really being like Bitcoin's valuation has gone through the damn roof. There's just so many more competitors now, and there's not much that's like, there's only ever going to be one Bitcoin. As much as Bitcoin Cash might want to argue that, there's only ever going to be one Bitcoin. There are really pretty much truly an infinite number of competitors or alternative currencies out there. So even if Bitcoin just continues to go through the roof, the days of it being at a 90% market dominance are probably never, ever, ever going to happen again, because not only are there other currencies or other platforms like Ethereum and Cardano and Ripple and Litecoin, but every single day there's a new ICO or there's a new fork or some crap like that. And that just, every single time that happens, it's like almost impossible for Bitcoin to keep pace with the amount of money that is going into the market capitalization. So that's something that you want to take into consideration. Thoughts on Vertcoin? I'm not a massive Vertcoin fan. I don't see anything really extremely interesting with what Vertcoin is trying to do over any other cryptocurrencies. And when I look at Vertcoin, I see some redundancy in between, like if I'm holding Bitcoin or if you're holding Litecoin or any of the other things out there. So I don't see. I mean, the big thing I think with Vertcoin is like ASIC resistance, and that just doesn't, as somebody who doesn't really mind, doesn't really appeal to me. Bitcoin is Bcash killer. Swede, RChain, Bobby, it's the ETH and Bitcoin killer. So I don't know if RChain is an ETH or a Bitcoin killer, but I do know I do have a holding of RChain. If you pop over to good old Fudge, pop over to my portfolio here. What do we got down here? ROHC, where is it? Yeah, 2.6% of my portfolio is RChain. So I do have a little bit of a holding in RChain. I opened that up pretty recently, and it's done pretty damn well, actually, too. So I'm a fan of RChain. I think RChain could probably use quite a bit of work from a... So they're only traded on KuCoin for the most part. They do have a pretty big valuation. They're almost at $1 billion in valuation. They're 850 mil. I bought them about a week or so ago, and I've been pretty happy with that. It's worked out well for me. But, I mean, they're only really traded on KuCoin right now. Not very much volume at all. That's a little bit scary, or a good opportunity, because you're talking about less than $1 million worth of volume. That's nuts. Less than $1 million worth of volume for a coin that's worth over $800 million in market cap. It's crazy. But I'm a fan. I think that they could definitely use some help branding. Like their website's kind of gross looking, honestly. But I think that's one of the reasons I bought into it. It's like, if they redo their website or they do couple other little things just to make things look better and build some better partnerships and get on some new exchanges, their price is going to go like this. So that was kind of my one of my thought process. Also, I think the tech is interesting as well. Somebody mentioned, where was it? When do you think Wanchain will hit exchanges? I have no idea when Wanchain will hit exchanges. I also know they're not allowed to really talk about that either. So that is, that's something that everybody will ask, when exchange, in addition to when moon, when exchange. Like, it's pretty much not legal for the companies to be like, yeah, we're going to be on Binance in 2 weeks. So, buy up, folks. Like, that's never going to happen. So you're just kind of guessing and speculating. Thoughts on Cash? Do you think they can accomplish their goals? I read the Cash white paper. I think it's interesting. I thought the goals that they were trying to accomplish seemed a little bit far-fetched, but it was, for the most part, a pretty interesting dynamic. Where's Cash? They've remained fairly, kind of fairly stable for the most part after fairly stable after this crash. Like, they obviously were up to 800 mil in market cap. They're down quite a bit, but I don't know if they've shown much sign of resistance against Bitcoin. I like the team of what Cash is trying to accomplish as far as the reality of what they're doing. If that'll come to fruition or not, I don't know, but it doesn't mean it can't pump. So I'm taking a look here. There's one question. What's up, Pizza Winlaw Boy? Thoughts on Dragon Chain being able to offer ICOs to U.S. investors? Hopefully massive upside here. So I haven't looked into that. I'm not exactly sure how they plan on doing that. I don't know if there's a specific reason, but the regulation behind offering ICOs to U.S. investors is not very clear at all. So as far as that being an investment thesis for Dragon, I don't know if there's something specific, if they're offering like if that's going to be like just for accredited investors, or if they're trying to just frame things as utility tokens, or what they're trying to do. But I'd be wary of that, because I know the SEC is not keen on ICOs to U.S. investors right now, regardless of what a crypto project or what the fans of a crypto project might say. Too late to buy OMG. It's gained 200x since ICO. I got into OMG at around $1, $1.50. I recently sold off my OMG, but they have a very solid team, accomplishing a lot of interesting things. So I like OMG. The valuation of it isn't crazy high. So do I think it's too late? No. Is it going to pull a 10x or a 20x? Probably not. Could it pull a 5x and get to 10 billion? Maybe. But your upside is, the upside is certainly reduced after it already being worth 1.8 billion right now. Somebody said, do you ever have problems closing tabs in the Brave browser? Sometimes. There's definitely some little glitches here and there with Brave. But overall, it's pretty interesting, and the nice part is, like, right now I'm on CoinMarketCap. I don't have any James Altucher ads. It's a wonderful thing. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. I bought BitConnect coin at $220. Am I going to make it? No. RIP in peace, brother. I don't think there's any beer left. No, there's not. It's warm. It's gross. So Steve mentioned, can you tell me how the ETH BTC coders are compensated for their time? I think it's fairly complicated. Some work for like the Bitcoin and ETH foundations full time. Some have other gigs. Some participated, and a lot of them got into Bitcoin or Ethereum early and have since become very wealthy due to that. Some receive a salary for their work. So it kind of runs across the board. The interesting thing though there is that like the dynamic of talent, because obviously, the Bitcoin or Ethereum Foundation, even if they pay, they're not going to pay as much if you're like that skilled that you can work for the Bitcoin or Ethereum Foundation. If you're that skilled, you can probably get a lot of money to be a technical co-founder, CTO, a developer. You could make a lot of money in the private market, running your own ICO, whatever it might be. So that's something that there's kind of this like whole different dynamic as far as things go, which is interesting. Thanks, Eric Shiz. Yeah, like it up. Is Ethos going to be the real deal? I don't know. A lot of people pump Ethos. They say they're going to do a lot. I don't know if they're really going to do that much. Yeah, I don't know. They say they're going to beat Coinbase and beat my Ether wallet and beat Ledger and beat Trezor and beat everybody. So what I get concerned about when it comes down to crypto is all these projects that say, hey, we're going to do everything. Meanwhile, nobody in crypto, for the most part, can actually do anything. So, like, all these companies out there that are like, all right, we're going to do 10 different things. We're going to do 10 different things, and we're going to crush it. And we're going to be the best at it. Whereas of all those 10 different things, there's not one company out there that's really doing that one of those things, like, really, really well. So if one company can't do one thing really well, how is one company going to do 10 things really well? That, like, I look at a project, and then they're like, all right, we're going to do video games, and we're going to do a decentralized internet, and then we're going to do gambling, and then we're going to do streaming video, and then we're going to do, like, decentralized YouTube. And it's like, what the... Like, figure out what you're going to do and do it well before you do 50 things shittily. Thoughts on C&D Syndicator? I haven't done a ton of research on it recently. I have some friends that are pretty bullish on it and have held it since the ICO. So it's held up it's held up not too bad in comparison to a lot of the other ones. So that might be something to keep in mind. But yeah, since the ICO, it's up a significant amount. But I didn't participate in the ICO, and I know a lot of people that did. You just described Tron. What? I did just say shittily. If you are new to the channel by any chance as well, if there's any chance you are new, hit the subscribe button, hit the notify bell. I do daily videos on the subject of crypto. Sorry I didn't have one yesterday. I was busy with work. But hit the subscribe button, the notify bell. If you have been with the channel for a while, hit the like button or I'll throw this beer at you. Hit the like button, please. That'd be awesome so that this video goes out to all the other wonderful people that are subscribed to the channel and they can hear me say shittily live on YouTube as well. That would be fantastic. So hit that like button. Smash the like button, as some would say. Do I like DTube? So that is... appreciate that, Trey Wingo. Thank you for taking the time to leave your show with Mike Golick to hang out with me. But DTube, Steam, they're interesting, but I mean, you get a lot more reach on something like YouTube, and and than you do on DTube or Steam. To be really, really, to be really frank, like. Yeah, I might post something on Steam and get 80 people to view it. If I post the same thing on YouTube, I'll get 18,000 people to view it. So I'm not going to... I'll post it in both places, but I'm not going to be like, yo, I'm going full-time in Steam with the 80 people that are going to look at that. So... David, hey, why aren't more people smashing the like button? I don't know. Why are you not smashing the like button, David? I blame David Hay. David told me he bought the BitConnect dip, and then David said he smoked too much marijuana and bought the BitConnect dip and has had a rough time since, and he's really fallen back on the train. It's been a rough go for David. Oh shit. Do you bot, trade, or mine? I'm more of a short to medium term investor than I am a quote unquote trader. So definitely more of a short term kind of short to medium term investor than I am a trader. I'm not really like a short-term trader. Like, I'll make some trades. Probably the shortest trades that Rich Galante, can we get you on H3 to talk crypto? I mean, if you're from H3, I'm a big H3 fan. So hit me up if you have anything to do with H3 outside of that. We could talk about BitConnect and shoot the shit, because I bought that BCC dip, baby. Craig told me to buy that dip, and I bought that dip. Shit. Outside of that, wow, where the hell was I going on? I lost my train of thought. Would you buy more VeChain given its recent price? I have enough of a stack of VeChain. Right now where I'm happy with what I have, and I'm not gonna. I bought VeChain early. It's up a significant amount, so I don't need to buy more personally. But that's myself personally. I haven't really evaluated where it's at, and if I was somebody else, because I'm happy with things, with where things are. But VeChain definitely has some positive momentum, especially in comparison to some of the other ones. So taking a look at some more of these questions. Path of Bitcoin, what's the smallest amount of gain you take before you sell? It depends. It depends on the trade, how much potential I think it might have. But, I mean, usually if something goes up maybe like 40, 50%, then if it's something I'm not confident in the long term, I might consider taking out that profit. Or I might consider taking out the entire portion of the investment and letting the rest of the profit ride. It's kind of something I'm considering with ZCL right now. It's up probably 80% USD, maybe 40, 50% Bitcoin wise. So like that is probably one of the smaller profits I'll take, which is crazy because it's like, oh yeah, 40% profit. It's nothing, but it's crypto. So outside of that, folks, I still have a little bit of work to do outside. I only had one beer tonight, so I still have a little bit of work to do for the old day job. So I'm going to try and get that done. I appreciate y'all taking the time to join me this evening. Again, if you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, the notify bell. If you've been here for a while, hit that like button. Smash that like button. Do what you need to do. But thank you so much for the time. I really do appreciate it. For all the questions, for everything else out there. Look forward to coming to you tomorrow with another recorded video and potentially YouTube Live tomorrow evening as well. Thanks a lot. Have a good one, guys. Peace. Shout out Alan Pellerin. Thank you very much. Appreciate it, dude. Take it easy, everybody.